Hey there, Hillsiders. We're going through an interesting time at our church. We're celebrating, on one hand, it's Cole and Cassidy, who've been here at Hillside for a little over 4 years, are preparing to relocate to San Antonio for Cole's permanent duty station with the Army. And we're overjoyed at the neat things that are happening in their lives. With the baby Pocock coming in March of next year, with the fact that Cole gets to dive into his career finally after the training and all the stuff that's gone into it, and just there's a lot of rejoicing that happens with that. And I recognize that there's also grief. At least I'm noticing it for myself. And I've had a lot of questions from people on, what are we going to do with all the areas that Cassidy and Cole have been involved in? And we're going to touch on that. We'll get to that at some point. But right now, I just wanted to touch on how we process through the complicated and sometimes even opposing, let me get that out, opposing emotions like joy and excitement on one hand, and then grief on the other hand, sadness, missing them when they go. And so one of the things that has been very helpful to me as I had going through this process is recognizing, number one, I got to own and understand what is it that I'm feeling, because it's conflicted. And sometimes that area of a conflicted feeling shows up in frustration or in anger or in what could be identified as depression. And for me, when that is kicking in, I got to dive in and dig in and say, what is it that I'm feeling? And in discovering, okay, I'm experiencing the feeling of loss. Losing such a wonderful couple and an incredible staff member is not an easy thing. And we don't at the same time pretend like it's not going to sting and just say, oh, it doesn't matter, they're moving on, we're happy for them. But to acknowledge and say, yeah, we're happy for them, but there's also an area where it hurts. And so as I am going through this, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm acknowledging, I'm using, for me, I write things down. I open up my journal, I write things down. Here's what I'm experiencing. Here's the feelings that are popping up. Here's the temptations I'm having in the area of where do I go with this? Because on one hand, I could be experiencing grief and sadness, and those may tempt me to go towards other things about isolation and withdrawal and hopelessness. And you think, well, that's pretty extreme. It's like, well, just even acknowledging the possibilities there is helpful, because then it allows me to then take those things to Jesus, a la, the practice that we do when we are addressing any other feeling we have, like it does in the Psalms. That's what I was going to say, Allah, the Psalms. In order for us to do that, we have to be aware of what's happening and to be able to say, God, here's what's going on. Will you please take a look at my heart, do a work in here, and help me to hold both of those things in my hands. The joy and celebration and excitement, and the sadness, grief, and mourning. And to be congruent with both of them so that I can be present and so that I can process and so I can feel. And for now, to be able to step by step move forward, celebrating what's happening, and also, knowing already we're going to be missing them terribly. There'll be more information that we have about what's going to be coming and who's going to be picking up the roles that Cole and Cassie have had. But right now, I just want to encourage you to reach out to them, to bless them, to encourage them, and also to process through your own feelings, emotions, wonderings with Jesus, and see what he might be talking to you about. Talk to you soon. God bless.